I don't
I'm
think
using the sun official free
natural
light
light, bro. Natural light is the
from
best
the.
light, bro. Natural light is the best light, bro. Don't even stress it.
Yeah. I'm using the sun. Whoa! I can hear myself. Whoa! Whoa! What the hell! I can hear myself. The hell was that? You were playing Twitch?
No.
Whoa! I can still hear myself. I can still hear in the stream.
That's you. I don't have anything open.
No. Oh wait. Oh, you have it live?
Yeah, I told you. I just told you. Just went live.
I couldn't hear it because I heard the audio from the video over it, so I couldn't hear that part. I just had it. I had it on. Yeah, man. All right, I mean, yo, I missed I missed that completely. I only heard the video. Twitch took over. Yeah, man, I'm out of it today, man. So out of it. Oh, you do. Twitch. Oh, it's my phone. Jeez. I have it over there. Hey, Pete, donated. Thank you. Oh.
Keep
Good.
typing so your camera's like it keeps bouncing. You keep computer.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like not 100% today, man. Not 100%. We have people here. Are we good with sound and everything?
I don't.
Because I have no idea. All right, let me.
I don't see anybody.
Let me go get my phone.
Yeah.
Let me go get my phone.
Okay, Arctic is there. Arctic is testing now.
Yeah, sorry, I had to get my phone. I'm trying to retweet this. And then we start.
Okay.
Why is doing that? No.
Okay, so Arctic says audio is good.
All right, that's good to know. Good to know. Give me 1 second, Arctic, and everybody else. There. Put this on silent. All right. So, Pete, we got to do the. Oh, we did the sound thing. Oh, I'm out of it. All right. Yeah, all right. So let's do this. That's it's been a long night. I only slept for 3 hours, guys. I'm probably gonna sleep after this. So, all right, here goes.
All right, man.
Welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 858. This is your host Danny speaking here, and also co-host of the show we have Pete. What's going on, Pete?
Good morning, dude. It's been a long time, man. It's been a minute since the two of us. What was it? The last time it was just you and I. We had that daily conversation about Apex Legends.
Yes, that was. Oh my god, that was when I was in Phoenix, I think.
Were you?
Wasn't I? I'm trying to remember. I released it during the trip.
Yeah,
that I remember. Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, man. How's everything, man?
Doing well. It's been a really good, relaxing weekend. No video games, surprisingly. I mean, I played Friday night, but I mean, yesterday me and the wife took off and we just did husband and wife stuff, right? Took some, went out to the beach, went out to this thing called Blowing Rocks. It's like a big, because it's Florida. We're flat, right? Or there's no quote unquote cliffs. But there's these rock formations that have been battered over the years with waves and stuff like that. And so they have these cool shapes and stuff. And then we went out to dinner. We went out to a special breakfast, and it's just really dope, relaxing weekend. And my wife had me join her for her exercise. It's this thing called Extend Bar. It's kind of like yoga meets ballet. And I did it just, because, I was going to go to the gym, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it out. Let me try out what she does. And I woke up this morning. That hurts, dude. Things hurt that aren't supposed to hurt. So I have a total newfound respect for the workouts and exercises that she's doing. So shout out to her, and shout out to my sore muscles.
Awesome, man. Well, Parris not going to be joining us for this roundtable, but we have an interview today with the developers at Massive to talk about the Division 2 AI. We're going to post that on the podcast, so stay tuned. All right, so head over to gamertagradio.com, post your comments and feedback. You could also search for us on any podcast app, and just search Gamertag Radio. And once you find it, subscribe, follow, post a review. It will help us out big time, man. All right, so in this episode, we have fan mail. We also going to give a lot of shout outs today, man, for people that have been donating, because we're trying to get money for E3. The E3 is coming up in a couple months, and budget. We need a budget, man, because we're struggling right now. So if you guys can help us out, please head over to donate.gamertagradio.com. That's donate.gamertagradio.com. And we'll be there, man. Hopefully at E3 if we get the help from the community. So later on, we're going to talk about that, because we have a lot of first-time, a long-time listeners, first-time donating for GTR. So that's very, very cool to see, man. So, P, anything about that before we continue with the show?
No, I think you said it best. The way we do it, it's not required, it's not necessary, but it's always appreciated. Whether it's via donations, whether it's via subscription, whether you're using your Twitch Prime on the show, anything helps. What we do here on the Gamertag Radio Show is, it's a passion project for all of us, right? Three of us, we do this because we have this love for podcasting and video games. And, there's times where, yes, we have to play ads, and there's times where we don't have any ads, but we need the help and the support in order to do this and make this show better. There's no way that this show would look as good or sound as good if it wasn't for the support that we've gotten from our fans. Hell, I would have gotten a TwitchCon last year if it wasn't as a direct result of the help we got from our fans and our listeners. So anything you guys can do, we appreciate it. It's not necessary, but we do say thank you, and we love you guys more and more as a result. So with that being said, let's get on. Let's do this.
All right. So at the end of the show, we're going to mention shout outs, everything, people that have been donating. So stay tuned. All right. So we're going to go with fan mail. All right, Pete, we have a couple voicemails here, voicemail messages, also emails, and I believe Discord messages. So which one you want to go first?
Do I do the infamous fan mail?
Nah, it's okay. You should retire that. Oh, there you go. All right. I guess it's not retired yet.
I'm not retiring that.
All right. So let's play with voicemails first.
All right, let's do the first voicemail. Here we go.
All right.
Hey, this is Eric. Sorry I got disconnected last time, but I just had a question for you guys. I'm not sure if anybody's ever asked this before, but I wanted to know what your guys' thoughts were on how games are released now. With the consoles now having the ability to patch and change aspects of the games, do you think that some companies rely on that too much and rush games that aren't ready? Just wanted to know what your guys' thoughts were. Thanks, and keep up the good work.
All right, thanks for calling in. Do we think companies rush games out? I don't think, me personally, that developers / publishers release games with the express consent to push them out early unfinished, right? I do think that there are some that may be a little more negligent with regards to their QA process, and so games do get released prematurely, whether it's as a requirement to satisfy stockholders or the business. They have a specific target that they want to hit. But, no developer wants to put out a rush job. Right? I can't imagine, just being a professional in any industry that you want to put out a half-assed job, right? I don't think we as people want to put out something with our names attached that would be considered, either whether it be half-assed or, of low quality, right? That being said, and I don't know if I would put that onus on the developer. I think maybe I would put that onus on the publisher versus, more so than anything else, right? I mean, we've seen how games such as, we'll go back to Titanfall 2, phenomenal game, very, very well done, amazing story, the gameplay mechanics, everything, but it was released or published at the bad time, right? There's games we saw Apex, or not Apex, Anthem most recently, not 100% well done. See, my dog even agrees. He's
like, yep, you got it right.
I agree, 100% right. Anthem just not ready for prime time yet. Another 6 to 8 months maybe it needed. Maybe it needs another 10 to 12 months to bake in the oven. Get all the marinated juices flowing and cook to a golden brown. And who knows? Maybe had that game come out in a year, we wouldn't, the game wouldn't be going through the stumbling blocks, that it's currently going through. Not to say that people aren't enjoying it, just saying that for the majority of people, the vocal minority or the vocal majority at this point, yeah, they have a problem with the way the game is performing. And that is one of the things that I guess would support that argument of, oh my God, yeah, they released it too early or whatnot. That being said, I don't know. I think that no developer or no professional in the gaming industry wants to put out a subpar product, but there's times where either project managing either goes awry, there's poor communication either from the developer to the publisher, or maybe the publisher or the developer just aren't listening to what's being said. Maybe they need to have what's called, having their ear to the road, being able to, listen to the community and understand the complaints and the gripes. But I don't think they do it on purpose.
No, I remember this from years ago. This is, I can't remember exactly what year was this, but Pete went to Canada. I don't know if it was Montreal, Vancouver, can't remember exactly.
Montreal. If you're talking about Army of Two?
Army of Two, yes. What year was that? Do you remember?
Oh my God. That'd have to be 08, 09, maybe?
Okay. So, oh my God, a decade ago. Oof. So Pete was there at the Army of Two community event, and the influencers that were there gave feedback to the developers, and the developers decided to delay the game based on the feedback that everybody gave them during that event. Am I correct, Pete?
I'm trying to think. It might have been 08. Yeah, I think it was 09, because I don't recall if it was the first one or the second one that we went for. But yeah, I mean, as a direct result of the feedback that we provided early on at the community events, they thought about it, and they said, it's just not ready for prime time. They pushed it back, I want to say 6 months before they released it to the public. Other instances where we saw things like that, where they were actually listening to gamers, was EA's Medal of Honor. The most recent one, the last one actually in the series. They brought out a whole host of folks from the gaming community. Myself, Lady Luck, Mandy was there, was there as part of that. We brought other other people from other parts of the first person or third person shooter, community. I think it was MP First was out there, Drifter, just, and those were way before like the influencers on YouTube, but like people like Drifter who are I'm sorry, Swifter on YouTube. He was out there. And we all sat with the developers and went through like a whole week of playing the game, talking with developers, having them fix the code, come back. That is what we really need, especially in this day and age, is to have and not to say that maybe the QA folks are not the ones to be testing it, because they're the ones that are bumping their characters into walls repeatedly to see if there's, a break or something, or a glitch. But folks who have tendencies towards that particular genre, I think having that type of perspective and having that type of criticism go back directly to the developers and have them work on it and come back and then you test it to see if that works. For example, that Medal of Honor event, was like a labor of love. I would say by the end of the week, we were all sick of the game because we kept playing over like 2 or 3 maps. But when you start going through maps repeatedly, you play the game for an hour and a half, you talk to the developers, they play with their code, and that's basically what we did for a whole week. We the morning session, we would talk to the developers about what they did the night before, what they fixed. We played the game, with no intent to go against what we did the week before. We just played the game naturally, right? It was, it was it was squad based matchups. And it was like, okay, we did the, we're playing the game. And then after about an hour or 2 hours of gameplay, we would go back for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and have a sit down with the developers and talk about weapon balance and map design and et cetera. And then we would go to lunch, they would work on code, we'd come back and we'd do it again for another, 3-4 hours. And then we would go to dinner, they would work overnight to fix the code. That is an integral part of game testing and what should be done. And it doesn't just have to be with, with shooter games. It could be done with platformers, and I understand those 2 titles that I just spoke about with Army of Two or with Medal of Honor. Those were, big name franchise titles. So
and both from EA.
Yeah. Well, they had a budget to be able to support that. But not everybody is not every developer or publisher can provide that. You've got smaller indie developers that may not have the budget to be able to fly out influencers or dedicated hardcore community members who are passionate about those type of games to be able to provide that feedback. So you have to make do with what you have. But it's an integral part. And if you're not listening to, whether it's your community or you're not listening to your QA folks correctly, then you're going to have a problem with your title. And unfortunately, I think we saw that what's happening most recently with Anthem.
All right. So we have another email here. This is from Jonathan. He said, so with Cuphead and potentially Ori and the Blind Forest possibly coming to the Switch, what do you think of the chances of Zelda and Mario coming to Xbox? As of right now, I'll say no, that's crazy. But honestly, who knows what could happen, man? At this point, like, whoever thought an Xbox game was going to be available on the Switch, so years back. So you never know. Maybe Nintendo will make changes, in the future. But as of right now, I'll say it is crazy, but you never know. Pete, you agree or what?
I mean, I don't know what crystal ball or what DeLorean you jumped into to find out that information about Cuphead. But yeah, totally unexpected. I don't think that I don't know if we'll ever see the full run of catalog cross accessibility, right? Like being able to see all of the Mario games on Xbox or any, all of the Xbox games and or titles on the Nintendo Switch. I don't think it needs to be. I think they should have their own individual places where you can play them, but titles such as Cuphead, Ori, I think is a phenomenal opportunity as well. It's a game that lends itself really, really well to the Nintendo Switch as a platform. I think games like that do have an opportunity to succeed, and I'm for it. Anytime that we can get gamers to be able to enjoy a title that they may not have normally had access to, such as a game like Cuphead or possibly Ori or other titles such as that, I think that's a benefit to everybody, right? Because not everybody has the wherewithal or the financial ability to be able to afford a Nintendo Switch and or an Xbox One X and or a PS4. You know, some of us are privileged to be able to have that. And in that regard, you know, yes, I can. But, you know, little Johnny down the block, and apologies, little Johnny, for bringing you, you know, digging you up out of the grave.
Johnny's like, little Johnny's like, you always meant.
Let me live.
Yeah.
But, you know, little Johnny down the block may only have a Switch and had never experienced Cuphead, right? And then now you're, you know, now he has the opportunity to play it. He or she has the opportunity to play it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the beginning of like their relationship with Xbox and Nintendo. We're going to see more of that. It all started with Minecraft, of course, but I think in the future we might see Nintendo being open of like having their characters maybe in like as a feature for like another game. We could see that. But like having an official Mario game available on a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox in the future, that's gonna be kind of hard.
I don't think we'll ever see that personally. I just think right now Xbox needs it more than Nintendo, and that's I think that's why this is happening. You know, they're opening themselves up to be able to be more accessible, to bring more eyes and potentially consumers over to their ecosystem. I just still think in my heart of hearts that Nintendo needs it, right? Xbox is the one that needs the help right now because they're trying to grow out of that singular space that they're in right now. They're trying to branch out. Kudos to them for thinking outside the box in that perspective. But yeah, I don't think Nintendo doesn't really need the help right now.
I know you say that they don't need it, but I know in a lot of interviews, different developers or the execs from Nintendo have been saying that they will love to try new things, to have like their properties in different platforms or in different places where they could start promoting the product and the company even more. For example, having the theme park, Universal Studios, that's one. Having now mobile games on like iOS and Android, that's another big, huge step from Nintendo. Don't be surprised if the company starts doing stuff like that I was saying right now, not only on Xbox, but other consoles too, or even PC. You never know. Because I think Nintendo nowadays, they would like to open up and try new things, and at the same time promote the company and promote what they have available now, which is Nintendo Switch. So I could see that. I could see that in the future. So all right, so let's play another voicemail, Pete.
Okay.
All right, voicemail number 2.
Here you
go. What's up, boys? This is Jeff from the DF Dub down in Texas. So let me preface this question real quick and just say that it's not super relevant with any current events going on in the industry or nothing like that. I've just been dying to get your guys' opinion on Half-Life 3, right? So, I mean, you guys could go on. We could have a conversation for hours, everything in and around Half-Life 3. So I'm going to keep it simple. Are you guys okay living in a world where Half-Life 3 never comes out? I mean, I think I am. I mean, I know it's a disservice seeming, but like I said, I mean, there's more than a few good reasons as to why, people have theorized it hasn't come out, or they're working on it but slowly, and so on and so forth. But let me rephrase it. What about like The Division? Let's just say The Division 2, the ending of that game is a cliffhanger and it's awesome and everybody loves it, but then they never come out with a Division 3. Is that acceptable, you guys think, for a game studio ever? Is there any kind of like pass that they should get for having dropped some blockbuster games like the previous 2? Or, I don't know, I guess I'm just curious as to your guys' opinion about a game studio, never really finishing their line of, video games, for lack of a better word. So that's all I wanted to know. Just wanted to get you guys' opinion on the whole Half-Life 3 escapade. Before I go, one last thing. I wonder how Keon's been. I haven't heard from him on the podcast in a while, and nothing beats that fan mail section when you hear Keon come on with the "What's up, everybody? Hope you fellas are." Man, Keon is the man. I hope everything's all good, and you guys keep doing what you're doing. And I'll see you later.
All right, thanks for calling, and we appreciate that. Yes, we are using Keon.
Yeah, definitely.
What would happen if I don't know? I guess that's a good question. I'd like to know what happened. I want to know where my Half-Life 3 is, honestly. I think that's the question. I think right now at this point, though, I think Half-Life 3 is the pipe dream. That's the carrot that we'll never get. I just don't know if Valve is in that thought process anymore.
But let me ask you this, Pete: do you prefer for the company to release Half-Life 3 and it's not even all that, or just leave it as is, don't release the game at all?
If you're not all right, so Half-Life 2 has this legendary unicorn status at this point, right? It's kind of all right. So you know what? And I'll answer it, and then I'm going to throw it right back at you.
Okay.
And I think you already know where I'm going to go with this, right?
Okay.
There's the way that it ended, left it in similar to the vein of like The Sopranos, the way that that series ended, right? It's like, well, what happened? You know, the screen turns to black, obviously in Half-Life 2. And I think I've gone beyond the spoiler limit on this one. We can talk about the ending of Half-Life 2. Right, you got G-Man standing up there, and he just, he comes out, and then he walks off stage to the right, and the screen turns black, and that's the end of Half-Life 2. Makes you wonder what happened. Let's go to 2019. Shenmue 3 is coming out. Let's say
I was going to say that.
You know that. You know exactly what I'm going to say. Shenmue 3 comes out, and it poops the bed, right? It's trash. Would you have rather played a watered down trash ending, or would you have rather lived on to the nostalgia of the way Shenmue 2 was and the way that whole series wrapped up, the way, even as open-ended as it may have been, but having that nostalgia of such a great, game 1 and 2, and then now it happens and it doesn't have the same impact to you personally. Are you okay with that? That's basically what the caller just said.
Yeah, it's like, I know I'm excited for Shenmue 3, but at the same time, I feel like I just want to close that chapter because I just love the story. But at the same time, I'm afraid that Shenmue 3 is going to come out. The reviews is not going to be great because maybe the game still feels like the old way. Like, for example, Crackdown. Like Crackdown, the latest Crackdown. I like the game. The media, a lot of them were just giving like bad reviews. So I think it's still probably gonna feel like the old way, but with a new look, but the same type of style of gameplay, So, I don't know. I'm in the middle, P, because at the same time, like I just want to end it, but I get it. Like I don't want a product to be released and then it's kind of crappy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you have to. Yes, but at the same time, it's good to take that risk because what if it's a game of the year contender, something that you're gonna love, or you know what I'm saying? Like you never know until you try it. So
let me ask you this: how confident are you? And let's be brutally honest right now. How confident are you that Shenmue 3 is going to live up to the expectations, not just of others, but of yourself, of having Shenmue on that pedestal for so many years, and now it comes out? What in your heart of hearts do you think is Shenmue 3 going to be?
I think it's going to be good. Seeing because the developer has been emailing everybody that donated through Kickstarter. So we always be getting updates. Plus, I follow people that worked on voice actors that worked on Shenmue in the past, and they're very excited. They've been also recording in the studio. They have the script, and I believe some of them already finished the whole recording. But they're excited. So if they're excited, also the developer excited, it gets me excited. So I'm pretty up there. Like now, is it going to be like game of the year type thing? I don't know.
And are you okay with that?
Mark.
Are you okay with mediocrity? Are you okay with
Yeah.
mediocrity if it comes out and it's okay?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, because if it's a game that I like and I don't care what the media says, and I'm loving it and it complete the story, I'm fine with that, man. I'm fine with that. A game doesn't have to be 10s and 9s for you to enjoy it. There's games that you probably enjoy, Pete, that it's like if you go to Metacritic, review scores is trash, right? But you enjoy that game, right? I don't mind about that. I don't mind. Now, if it's something that I'm loving it and it's fine, it's good. Like I don't know what's so wrong about that. I donated.
I'm curious if maybe because you donated, you're a Kickstarter for this project, if maybe you just have more investment than if it was just a regular title off the shelf.
Well, that's part of it, and part of it is because that's part of it, but part of it too is because I'm just a huge fan of Shenmue. Like I just love that game. Like I played it so many times on Sega Dreamcast, on the original Xbox One.
Over 10 years ago? 10, 12 years ago?
Over 10 years ago, but I also got the HD version that just released for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. I got it. I played it again. I finished 1. 2, I haven't completed it yet. The HD version, because I've been playing other games, but I'm excited. Like I'm super excited about the game. Yeah. But like with you, Pete, are you okay if Valve never release Half-Life 3?
I think at this point, I think I am, because I don't want them to I don't want them to trot out the old horse and then it doesn't perform, right? If it doesn't succeed in the same way or level that Half-Life 2 did, Half-Life 2 being a critical success, it's the unicorn, right? I don't want them to trot out this crappy Half-Life 3 that doesn't live up to the expectations. It's kind of like the way Marino went out. He did great as a quarterback, was never able to bring it home. And, the last couple of years, he should not have been playing, right? He just didn't have the talent around him. He couldn't run, etc. And apologies for those for me bringing out a sports analogy on here, but go out on top. Fine, leave it open-ended. I'm happier with that as opposed to them bringing out a substandard trilogy ender that doesn't live up to its expectations. And then now that's the last thing that you remember Half-Life as a franchise being. I'd much rather live with the memories of what Half-Life 2 was and how it impacted the industry in general than have them bring out Half-Life 3, it being a flop, in every way, shape, or form, and the expectations get, thrown into the dumpster, and that is the last memory we have. It's kind of like the Marvel. It's kind of like Marvel on Netflix. Like, I don't want Jessica Jones season 3 to be the last thing, and if it's garbage, that's the last memory I have of Marvel on Netflix. Right? I would have much rather it been, whether it be The Punisher or like Daredevil's last season, be my last memory of that whole universe. But no, now I have to trudge through Jessica Jones season 3. That's how I put it.
All right, so here's another email here. This is from Ian. He says, hi guys, since your conversation on your private demo of Generation Zero at E3 last year, I haven't heard any more about the game. Do you think there will be more at this year's E3? Thanks for all your content. Loving daily conversations. Thank you, Ian, for the email, and thank you for listening to GTR. I think we're probably going to see more about the game later this year, and hopefully, based on that presentation, the company will release that game maybe the end of the year or something like that. So maybe Winter of Arcade, Summer of Arcade, if Xbox plans to do that. So I think that's the time frame where they're going to release it, between summer or during the holidays.
Generation Zero.
Yeah,
I
think so.
It's coming next week, March 26th.
It is?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I didn't even know. I haven't heard anything about the game. Wow. Major fail, ladies and gentlemen.
Very major fail. Way to go, Dave.
Major fail.
It's coming out. AMD's driver package just came out last week, and it updated GPUs for that. So it was like 3 days ago. Yeah,
major fail.
The new driver package. The driver package that came out was to prepare GPUs for Sekiro, which I know you just got. And Generation Zero.
Generation Zero is the game I'm talking about, Pete.
I know. Generation Zero comes out March 26th.
For Xbox and PlayStation? Or just Xbox?
if they're dropping a driver, I can't tell you if it's going to be for a console. But yeah, Generation 0 comes out in 3 days, according to
Wow,
PC Gamer.
I had no idea. Wow, This is major fail. Well, all right, next question.
So I'm sorry. Clip that. I just did.
That was major fail.
Yes, it comes out March 26, 2019 on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. So yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, go to the next question. I'm leaving the podcast. I really don't care. I'm leaving the podcast. Go for it. What's you have a voicemail we should play?
Yes.
I had no idea. I swear to God, I had no idea it was coming out next week.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Hi guys, it's Devin here. Stadia, so psyched for this thing. Just everything, it looks so cool. I agree with what Parris said on the conversation that Danny and Parris had. But honestly, I think some of these hang-ups are temporary. Infrastructure is starting to catch up. And the one thing that encouraged me is the controller connects directly to the service. So you don't have that thing sitting in the middle, causing lag. So I think if you're going to reduce that input lag, that is one way to do it. And I think they're doing it the right way. But if you put aside the pricing and the streaming technology and all that for 1 second, the one thing that really excites me, which nobody's really talking about right now, is Google has said, this is kind of the spec that you're going to get with Stadia, which gives you your 10.7 teraflops. So many gigs of RAM, so much, in terms of processing power, etc. But what I'm thinking is there is nothing to stop Google at some point in a private discussion with a company like Epic or Rockstar or Ubisoft to say, hey, we've got something really big coming out. We want to make this massive open world game with so many players and all this detail and all this stuff, and we want you to up the spec for our game. I'm not saying that they would do this a lot, but there's nothing to stop them, right? Because it's all in the cloud. They can make any spec they want, and there's nothing to stop them from saying, okay, instead of 16 gigs of RAM, we're going to make it 32. Instead of 10.7 teraflops, now we're going to crank out 19. So suddenly you have this partnership with a game developer where they want to make this amazing game. And it doesn't matter if it's 1 year, 2 year, 3 years down the track. If Google's up for it and developers up for it, they do it, and they can do it just for that game. Maybe I'm talking, poo. I don't know, but I can't see any reason why they wouldn't be able to do this with cloud computing. And to me, that means that you don't have the limitations of the typical console cycle anymore. Those consoles go out; they're fixed spec. Developers have to work with them, and they have to make sure that all their games work for so many years. Cloud computing, that can evolve and change with every single game at any time. It doesn't have to be, for a certain set period of time for every single game. You might have some games that don't need that kind of spec. They can run on, 8 gigs of RAM and maybe 5 teraflops because they're indie games or something like that. And then you'll have games that will run on, 20 teraflops. So I see a lot of opportunity with that, and I'm really interested to see where it's going to take gaming and just unleashing the restrictions that developers currently have with the console generations. That's my opinion. Love to know your thoughts about it.
Hey, what's going on, Gamertag Radio?
Oh. All right, Danny. Thoughts on Stadia? I know you guys dropped that 1 hour discussion, you and Parris, earlier in the week.
Yeah.
My biggest concern with regards to Stadia is probably the biggest one that everybody always talks about, right? Google's classic history of abandoning products, right? We've seen it. The Nexus player, which I was all on board about, and then that disappeared. That never happened. Google Plus, Google Wave, Health, Reader, the Glass, which you had for a little bit.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Orku, Allo, which was supposed to be their new messaging platform. It went dead last month. Google Fiber. We thought that was going to be the next thing, and that project as a whole got halted. And I mean, Google Hangouts, the one application that you, Parris, and Mandy and David and etc. We use those daily. I use it all the time with my wife, for quick communication. How important is that to this? If it doesn't succeed in the way or shape that Google envisions, now we've got a dead piece of hardware like our Ouya's. Now we've just got a hard piece. We've got a piece of hardware that just disappears. So on top, not to say that the tech isn't amazing. That's some pretty impressive tech to be able to go from playing it on your Chromebook, switching to your phone, and it picks up where you left off, to moving to your tablet, to moving to another piece of hardware and being able to play it on your TV, all seamlessly without losing your place in the game, using the power of Google's cloud, who probably, if anybody, has the infrastructure to make this work right the first time, right? We saw how well it worked on Project Stream. But does America in and of itself, and I say, and I'm focusing on America because I don't live anywhere else. I can't speak to infrastructures elsewhere. I know, like in places like in Europe where you don't have as many, you don't have bottle cap or data caps. You've got much better infrastructure to be able to support streaming games like this, or in Japan where they've got better internet service than we do here in the United States. How do we support it? Not that many people have the infrastructure here in the United States to be able to support that from a network perspective. And then on top of that, you've got Google's history of abandoning products that don't fit its scheme at that point in time. I have I'm afraid that people are going to invest money in a product like Stadia and then it disappears. And you're muted.
What about now?
I can hear you now.
Wow, I thought I had it connected to my mixer.
I guess not.
Whatever.
That's fine.
I guess not. So my question to you, Pete, have you listened to the latest Daily Conversation episode?
857. That was the one you and Parris.
Yeah. Have you heard it?
I've heard.
Yes?
I've listened to most of it.
Most of it? Okay.
Yes.
So I think that this is going to be a subscription service. It's not going to be like on live where you go and purchase the game from the like. That's what I think. Parris says that.
Yeah, he thinks that it was going to be a free service, and then just advertising or whatever is going to be able to support that money on the back end.
Yeah. That's what I think. So, if it's a subscription service, then you're not really paying much. You're just paying for that moment. And once, let's say you pay for like 3 months. Let's just say, once you're done after the 3 months, and let's say the company shuts down, then it shuts down. Like that's fine. The problem that I have is if you buy a game that's $60 and you have the streaming service, and let's say it doesn't work out, it just shuts down. What happened with the game? You're screwed. Like you pay the $60, then it's completely gone after it shuts down. That will be messed up if that happens. That would be really messed up.
Well, I mean, regardless, I think it's going to be. I think it's a crapshoot right now because they're hinging a lot of money and.
I was like Parris. I said there was a subscription service, not you. I said.
Yeah, I know Parris. He did say that. I know Parris is in the chat right now saying he did say it was a subscription. No, we know you said. I actually that's right near the part where I had to stop listening to it right before we came on live today. But yeah, I think that's going to be something that they've got a lot of money, tech, and infrastructure hinging on the success of this. Standing up something like Stadia does not come cheap, right? I don't, people go into business to be able to make money on the back end or on the future of it. I think subscriptions is one way to offset the cost of that. But again, they have that history of things that they throw money at and don't succeed, but with so much money being made on on other products, whether it be Google, whether it be their music, or what is it, their Google Drive services, their enterprise services, obviously YouTube, Google searches and ads, they make so much money that they can offset those losses. I don't know. I'm hesitant. I like the way I like where they're going, but I'm afraid that this may not succeed to the expectations that they're thinking, and it's gonna fall flat.
Let me ask you this, Pete. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you fine. Because I switched my mixer instead of a headset.
Yeah, that's fine.
No. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, dude. What's gonna happen? Because all I know is that it's good that Google's doing this because the pressure's on with Microsoft. That's what I know. They're gonna go all out, I think, during E3. So, but yeah, if you listen to this episode right now and you're curious about a conversation I had with Parris, go to Gamertag Radio.com, listen to a previous episode of Daily Conversations, and it's there. It's like almost an hour.
Yeah, my whole thing with that is it's a service, right? You don't have to. It's not a console based service, so people are not spending money on that like they normally would.
Mm-hmm.
But that level of entry still requires you buying something, right? You still have to have a phone or a Pixel tablet to be able to use that service. You still need a Chromebook, or whether it be an IBM Yoga or a Surface or anything else. You still need a computer or some kind of a device to access that service. So it's not like it's a totally free service, right? You're still going to need to get into it at some way, shape, or form. I still think I have a feeling that if they're going to do this Stadia service, it's going to be some form of a subscription based type service similar to like Game Pass right now for Microsoft or Xbox Live for Microsoft.
Okay. All right. Let's play the next. We still have voicemails? Yeah.
Oh
right?
Oh yeah. I kind of slipped by letting the first 2 seconds play. I wasn't paying attention, but
okay.
Here we go.
All right.
And it's not playing.
Hey, what's going on, Gamertag Radio? Man, it has been a minute, but I hope you brothers are doing great. This is Keon calling from Baltimore. I haven't called in, guys, because quite honestly, and this is not to get down. I don't want you to get down for me. Don't feel sorry for me. But I was actually sick for a little bit. I had this thing called radio nerve palsy. And basically what it was my left hand was completely incapacitated. I had no feeling in it or anything. I couldn't game or anything, but thank God I was able to make a 100% recovery with physical therapy and all of that stuff. So everything is fine. But when that happened and I couldn't game for a bit of time, it really got me to thinking, gee whiz, what else would I do? What else would I be as passionate about or love doing as a hobby more than gaming? And, I thought about the Xbox controller. That is a great controller option. Thank goodness I didn't need it. Like I said, I was able to fully recover. But my question to you guys is, do you have any other hobbies? Because I know you guys are very passionate. Y'all get into great debates with one another, and it makes for a fantastic podcast. But do you guys have any other hobbies you're just as passionate about if gaming was no longer an option? Just wanted to get you guys' opinion on that. Oh, man, you guys have been doing amazing work. Danny going to the Division event in D.C. But anyway, I'm getting long-winded as usual. But with that being said, you guys take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.
As always, shout out to good friend Keon, man. Shout out to Keon.
Shout out to him. Actually, when I was in Washington, D.C., he hit me up and we were supposed to meet up. But
that'd have been amazing.
Yeah, it just got crazy with scheduling. Like the whole schedule for the whole week was tough, and so we never made it happen. But shout out to Keon. Glad that he's calling us now. It's been a while. So that's good. Shout out to him, man. Thank you for the support, man. So, other hobbies, man. I love I used to be involved with like the hip hop scene, and P already knows about this, but I used to be really, really involved back then. I will go to like a lot of events, discover like a lot of new artists, promotion. I used to do that too. And I used to work for a lot of music labels back then. So that was my hobby. That was like my thing back then before GTR, before internet radio. That was my thing. And also I had a chance to interview a lot of music artists like Outkast, Cannabis, Wu-Tang Clan, KRS-One. Who else, man? I used to work for DJ Khaled back in the days. That's what I used to do. Also now, I'm into like the whole political podcast. Like I listen to that a lot. Yeah, when I'm hanging out, chilling, I love watching documentaries like on Netflix or Amazon Prime. I do that a lot. So those are my 3 hobbies right now. If gaming wasn't around, I would have been probably doing those, and also still speaking about podcasts for sure. You, Pete?
For me, aside from going to the gym, I mean, I have this fascination with the guitar. You know, I have 3 guitars right now in my room. I've got an Ovation acoustic. I've got a Jackson Dinky, and I've got a Les Paul, a custom Les Paul. It's a 7-string Les Paul. It's the Trivium. Trivium is a metal band from Orlando. Their lead guitarist and singer Matt Hafey, who's actually a streamer on Twitch. He's got a really cool live stream. He's got a custom 7-string model with EMG pickups, and it's all white. I think you may have seen it if you watch me. If you've seen my social media, whether it be IG or Twitter, you've seen pictures of it there. But yeah, that's my thing. You know, playing guitar, whether it be heavy metal, progressive rock, classic rock, stuff like that. That's if I wasn't playing video games. That's what I was doing straight out of high school. You know, got accepted into Berklee College of Music and stuff like that. So music has always been a big thing for me, similar to you. You know, as a former DJ and stuff like that, playing, you know, dance music and hip hop and stuff like that. So if I didn't have video games, I'd probably still be doing that, or, you know, doing that more so.
Yeah. I remember we used to do like mixtapes on GTR.
Oh yeah,
we used to do that a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, remember episode 300? Like, it was such a big deal that we got to episode 300. I did like some hip hop mix, and we released it on the show or something like that.
Yeah. That's when we used to play music.
Yeah,
back in the days.
Music on the stream.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else, Pete? Any other voicemails? Or I think we're done, right, with the voicemails?
Yeah, I think that's
or emails.
Yeah.
Discord. We have anything with Discord?
We may. I think we do. Hold on. Go through all these.
Yeah. And yes, Generation Zero comes out next week.
Yes, if you weren't aware. If you didn't know, it comes out on the 26th. So,
on the 26th.
2 days ago. 2 days from now.
Wow.
Okay, so Phoenix. Shout out to Phoenix from the Discord server. Hey, Danny, Pete, and Parris. I've been listening to GTR for roughly 10 or 11 years so far, and I still look forward to listening to each and every episode. It's so cool to see how far you've progressed, the quality and professionalism of the show. Keep up the great work. I was wondering if you would consider including discussion or having a segment where you talk about some of the games out there that are not as popular or getting as much shine as the current big dogs in the industry. I'm talking about games that are actually good that just aren't getting the attention that some of the other games are getting and may be worth trying out. Just thought I'd throw that idea out there. Thanks for the read, and shout out to all of the GTR Discord fam.
Yeah, I think I'm the one that plays the most like underground indie games because I have more time. I'm not working, so I have time to do that. You know, it's kind of hard, you know, in a situation with like P and Parris, like, you know, they're working, and it's kind of hard. And so wow, give me 1 second. There you go. My nephew's like crying downstairs.
We couldn't hear him.
Yeah. Oh, you can hear him?
No, we couldn't. We could not hear him.
Oh, you couldn't?
So you could have just kept on going, but whatever.
No, but it's in the recording. It comes on the recording. But anyways, yeah. So I love discovering new games. You know, there was a time that I was just discovering a lot of games when I just first started using Steam Machine. Games I've never heard before at that time, like Layers of Fear, was available there first, and then came out for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Now I heard that part 2 is coming out. I'm excited. I definitely want to check that out. So I'm probably gonna do more of that. There's a couple of games that I have on the Switch that is not mainstream at all. Probably gonna talk about it in the future, in the future episode with Mandy or my brother. I'm working on it. Gotta give us some time. And yeah, that's about it. But I definitely would like to focus on those games because look, we all know about The Division and Anthem and all these big mainstream AAA games, right? But there's a lot of hidden gems that people are just never heard about it. For example, like me, I didn't know that Generation Zero was coming out in a couple of days. I had no idea because the advertisement is not everywhere. Like, you know, and it's hard to keep up, man. Especially nowadays, there's so many games that comes out all the time. Look, there's games that comes out on the Switch multiple times a week, and I can't keep up. So what I do is either I go on YouTube to see, because I have a lot of like Nintendo Switch channels, like fans creating content about like games coming out or stuff like that, or I'll go to the store and I'll see what's the latest games that comes out. So if there's a game that gets my attention, I'll just search it online to see if there's like a trailer, or sometimes there's trailers there part of the page in the store. So what about you, Pete? Do you do that too, or
obviously I don't play as much. I'm kind of like stuck in the titles or the genres that I play, so every once in a while there'll be a random game that pops up that kind of catches my fancy. One that I've had my eye on over the last 2 or 3 weeks. It got a lot of fanfare at last E3, but when it released last month, the response or the reviews have been kind of mixed or, middle of the road. But I'm still very, very curious as Jump Force, right? I really, really want to check out that game because that game, aside from having, the Dragon Ball Z characters and Bleach and Naruto and One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, Fist of the North Star, Yu Yu Hakusho, things like that. Those are animes that not just myself but my kids, latched onto very young, especially like Yu-Gi-Oh. Being able to play as Yu-Gi-Oh versus Seto Kaiba, me and my son, those were cartoons that him and I, basically grew up on. Him being a very small child and me being a young adult, and so I would love to have to bring that. And I may just grab that just so my wife saw me watching a stream last night of a championship on Jump Force, and she was like, I want to play that, and her and I have history of always, playing shooter, or fighting games and me getting my ass kicked. So like I kind of want to do that to have that enjoyment and spend that time with my wife, but I don't because I don't want to lose. Right. But yeah, there's always games out there that periodically come out that'll grab your fancy. There are Billions, which came out last year. Games like that, that don't get the acclaim or get the popularity that maybe others, that they get outshadowed, right? Because of the other AAA big franchise titles. But not to say that they aren't out there. It's just a matter of finding those little gems, and playing them and then giving them the shine that they deserve.
Yep. All right. So we're going to go now with the interview that Parris recorded a couple of days ago with Massive about the Division 2, the AI, the Division 2. The conversation was really great. Really, really good. So I'm going to play right now. And once we come back, we're going to give shout outs to everybody that have been donating for the past few days to support GTR for us to go to E3. So we'll be right back after this. All right. So that was an interview with Parris. Shout out to Ubisoft and Massive for the interview, and hopefully by the end of this week I'll probably will play an exclusive that we recorded that nobody have done that yet. So I'm gonna surprise everybody. Hopefully for sometime this or next week. We'll see. I have to look. So Pete, I think it's time. It's time for us to give shout outs to everybody that have been donating for GTR. And remember, if you're listening to the podcast right now, all you have to do is go to donate.gamertagradio.com and support Gamertag Radio because we're trying to go to E3. And even if it's $1, we appreciate any donations from the listeners, man. So shout out to everybody that's been helping us out. And Pete has comments and also how much we've been raised. Pete, give us the update, man, because you have all the details, man.
So we're just gonna go through names right now. C. Whaley donated $10.
Pete, you there? You mute?
I am totally muted.
Okay,
C. Whaley donated $10. Let me dream. Kataristas. Big shout out to this to Kataristas. I believe he's from Norway. This person has been a staunch supporter of the Gamertag Radio show for years, especially once we hit Twitch. He's right now the current leader on the stream at $700 overall donated. He helped me get to TwitchCon last year. He's donated. So, hello guys. Love the work you've been putting in. Enjoy your content every week. Excited to see what comes out of E3 this year. Good luck and much love from Norway. So Kataristas, thank you very much for always supporting us here at Gamertag Radio as a listener and or a viewer on Twitch.
Question. He donated how much recently?
$200.
I know $200. Okay. Yeah. So $700 overall from the beginning.
Yes.
So he donated $200 the past few days.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
awesome.
Huge. AJ Mac 123 donated $100. Been here since 2006. Definitely want you guys to keep going forever. Hashtag let me dream. Gadget donated $20. You guys have entertained me for a few good years now through good and bad times. You do a fantastic job and work your socks off. So I'd like to thank you with a small donation and hope it helps out. Keep up the good work, guys. And thank you, Wayne.
Awesome.
Ryu Online donated £5. Keep up the great work. E3 without GTR isn't E3. Last year you covered E3 the best with more content and episodes than any other podcast at Ryu Online. Thank you very much, Ryu. Blicky donated $50. Thanks for so many years of great content. Listening to the podcast feels like talking with friends. It isn't much, but hope it helps. Thank you, Blicky, very much. Jay Baldino donated $100. Hoop Chi donated $5. Crackshot donated $10. Thanks for the content. And then just like right in the middle of the show today, Naughty Fox donated $20. Good luck at E3, gentlemen. Thank you very much to all of you for donating here on the podcast. I mean, it's just, or the live stream. Every little bit helps. You didn't have to, but you did so with us. And for that, thank you very much.
So overall, Pete, how much we raised already so far?
I believe that brings us to... Oh, sorry. I forgot to mention Wingless 007. He donated as well. He donated $100.
Awesome.
Sorry, hold on. You guys are amazing, professional, and wonderful gamers. I love listening to all your podcasts and opinions, which I value a lot. You deserve to prosper in what you love and do so well. That means you need to go to E3 to tell all of us about it. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
So how much overall?
Crap.
Overall?
I think I totaled it up yesterday in our conversation. So I want to say it's like 655 or something like that.
Okay,
or
that's good.
656. I forget that. 611 since March 18th.
Yeah.
So thanks to everyone.
So yeah, thank you everyone. We appreciate that. And for those who are listening right now, if this is your first time, you would love to donate, please go to donate.gamertagradio.com. That's donate.gamertagradio.com. We can't go to E3 without this money. I'm being totally like 100% real. I'm going to keep it 100 right now for the listeners because, I don't have a job. And then, trips, it's not cheap, man. So whatever you can, even if it's $1, please donate and help us out, man. So once again, thank you so much for everybody that's been helping us out, man. So our goal is, what's the goal overall, Pete? Was it 4,300? Something like that, right? Because not only we're going to E3, we're also buying like equipment, like video equipment for us to start doing like a lot of video interviews too, because we want to put that like on Twitch and YouTube and stuff. So So yeah, anything else, Pete, before we wrap it up?
No, that's it. Right now our total is 641.
Pete, you're on mute again, man.
I am totally muted. Sorry, I was doing math back here in the back end, so I didn't want the clickety clack of the keyboard coming in. Total right now is at $641. Again, thank you so much. That a lot of this most of this will go to flights and or hotel fees over at E3, as well as to help us continue to improve the show from a back end technological perspective, whether it be equipment, microphones, headphones, etc. So thank you very much for all your help.
Definitely, man. Definitely. All right. So head over to gamertagradio.com, post your comments and feedback. Listen to our past episodes. Also, you could go to any podcast app out there. Just search for Gamertag Radio. And once you search, subscribe, share with your friends, post a review if you can. It will help us out for other people to discover us. And just listen to our past content, because we have a lot of cool stuff that we've been recording, especially this year alone. From January to now, we've been posting a lot of cool content, man. So that's it. We're gonna wrap it up here. Anything else, Pete, before we go?
Yeah, there's one that I did forget. Chuck Sherrar, shout out to you. Thank you for the $20 donation as well. Thank you so much.
All right. Wow, it's a lot of people have been donating, man.
Oh yeah.
Long list. Keep it up.
It's huge. It's amazing.
Yeah, keep it up. I love the support that we've been getting from GTR, man. Not only in the United States, but worldwide, man. Getting a lot of support from everybody, man. So let's make history together. Let's make it happen, man. Because I would love for us to go to E3 this year, man. I think it's going to be a very important year for gaming, and I think it would be good for us to be there to record that content and release it. Record that content and release it to the public, man. So. And that's it. We're gonna wrap it up here. Until next time, we're out. There you go, Pete. We do the after show here now.
Sure.
Why you always on mute, man?
Because I don't want the audio for me clicking buttons and doing things in the back end.
All right, because I feel like I'm the one talking to myself.
Oh no, you had your mute moment today earlier, so don't get it twisted.
Yeah, but that was because I didn't know my mixer was on. It was using the headset audio the whole time.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All good. Yeah.
But I'm excited, man. It's good to see this, man, from everybody that been listening to the show, man. Like, it's crazy because for the past few weeks I've been kind of like nervous, like, man, we're gonna go to E3. Yo, we go to E3 every year, and this year is kind of like it's been tough, man. I don't want to miss it. I don't want us to miss it, man. It's gonna be a important year, I think, because it's like right before the next gen console comes out, and that's when we're gonna start hearing about it. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, not just that, it's the last one in Los Angeles that we know of, and will it be the last E3 period?
Yeah, we don't know yet.
I went back to your conversation with Reed Alber, formerly of the ESA, and there's a lot of little nitpicks in there that I don't know. I just don't know if there's going to be another E3. I think as the industry starts to mature and as we start to get closer and closer to an all digital era, if it happens, I think what we see is maybe a downturn to what happened a while back, where it starts to reassess its importance and its need for the industry. People have to remember E3 started off as a trade show because we didn't have a digital era. This was the only way to put games, whether it was in a finished product or in an idea stage, into the hands or into the minds of developers and or publishers, to be able to make sure that, to find funding to be able to make their game. Shout out to Boss Geekery for the $5 donation just now. But yeah,
oh, wow.
GTR, you were all such awesomely great humans. I've quietly been loving the content you put out for years. Definitely want to see you make it to E3 this year. Thank you so much, boss. Side note real quick, we don't read the donations or the notes or the messages during the live show, after show. It's a totally different story. We'll do those live and on the spot. But thank you, Boss Geekery, and everybody else that's either donated. Arctic, thank you for the 80 bits. We saw that as well. Much obliged. But going back to the E3 stuff, this is a digital age where we could, developers or publishers can put their thoughts out without having the need to fly out many, staff. They could do all their stuff in post-production, put it up a stream on YouTube, and it gets just as many eyes, if not more, whether it be on YouTube or on Twitch, etc. So why spend all that money to pay people to have to work your booth, work them to their bones for 14 hours a day, set up for 3 or 4 days prior to that, break down 2 or 3 days after that, fly them out, pay for food and hotel? You could just have them do their regular 40-hour work week for 3 or 4 weeks, maybe longer, and put out a video stream, and just you get just the same reaction or impact.
Yeah.
And the cost savings.
That was a very interesting conversation I had with Reed. Like, if you guys make sure to go out there and listen to it, because that was a really great conversation. Yeah, he gave some hints. I don't know about the end, but more of like major changes coming.
Yeah.
Which I think that's 100% sure is going to happen, and they have to.
Oh, they have to. They have to grow with they have to adapt. They have to grow with the times, right? It's not the same anymore. It's a totally different era now. So, it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt and how they reassess the way that they present E3. Is E3 I think the way we see it now, with it growing and having people now, I know he mentioned Chicago is a viable option. I know C2E2 is going on right now. Vegas definitely has the space, and I know he mentioned the Vegas space. That place is designed to hold 300,000 people, where the numbers at E3 are 60 to 80. So now you'd have so much space it would almost seem empty, right? And at the same time, from a conference perspective, you don't want it to look like a dead zone. You don't want it to look like South Hall last year, right? You want it to look busy. You want it to be packed, but at the same time, you need to maintain safety, and you need to make sure that people can get to their appointments. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how the ESA resets.
Now, I have a question for the listeners, and also for you, Pete, because I'm working on this. So I'm working on a demo reel, because I've been applying for jobs and stuff. So at first, when I was doing this reel, I was like, oh, let me have it 5 minutes, because I want to put a lot of stuff there. Then I was like, nah, I think my goal is 90 seconds. To you, because you're the one also that hired people, right, in their job. Like, demo reel, how long do you think I should make it? Like, should I make it 90 seconds, 2 minutes? Like, what is like the right time for that, in your opinion?
What's the target demographic though?
Just everything that I do, like interview, speaking, been feature and like media. And now I'll have like stuff on the podcast, like very short clips, stuff that I've done for Discovery Channel when I was there. That's it. I just want to show the stuff that I've done throughout the years. You know what I'm saying? And at the end, I'll put like the Hall of Fame award, and I'm speaking, but that's like really super short. Like, each video is like 10 seconds or something like that.
I'd probably say 30. Maybe put a 30-second clip on like Instagram or something like that, or for Twitter, for social medias. But I think a 60-second clip is right around the right time. You don't want to put too much. Also depends. And so, like, I might not be the right source to give you the information on that, because as a network engineer or as a director, that's not what I'm looking for, right? I'm not looking for a video sizzle reel for somebody that I'm hiring. It's kind of hard for them to get their stuff across. Yours, you may want to go 60 to 90 seconds.
Yeah, someone said 2 minutes max. 2 minutes is good. 2 minutes, between 90 seconds, 2 minutes. I think that's good.
I'd say personally, I'd say less, because you don't want to go too long where people lose interest. People have short attention spans, especially in 2019. You want to make sure that you can get your point across in 60 seconds. So I would say I'd say stick it to 60 seconds if you can.
Yeah, right now I have it as 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So I have to really
You need
cut
to chop that in
lot.
half, brother.
I have to cut a
Yeah,
lot.
people don't want that. You should be able to fit in
Alright,
an
so-
Instagram shot, in an Instagram video, 60 seconds. That's it.
Yeah, it's hard.
Because anything more than that, people are not going to pay attention. People are going to move on. They're going to get on there. They're going to see the time. They're going to see 2.5 minutes, and they're going to be like, I'm out. And they'll stop. Even if the content is interesting. People don't want to sit there and go
let me ask you, because look, this is real. I'm keeping it 100. I'm talking to you guys. So I have the video where we won the Land Podcast Awards.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is like, let me see, I had to chop it up, so it's 4.5 seconds, 5, so it's like 9 seconds long. The Discovery ad, 15 seconds. I put a clip of CW. Damn, I have to cut a lot of things here. I just don't know what. It's so good. Like, it's a lot of good stuff here, man. You know, I figured something out.
I would, just as a recommendation then, maybe do 5 or 6 5-second clips and then start chopping them so that they're like 1 to 2 seconds, like kind of like a speed up. And then boom, at the end, there's your name, Danny Pena, contact. Because, it's kind of like, how like songs have a build up and it speeds up. And then it's kind of like, you've got like 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. And as and then it starts to speed up with all the different things that you have done, awards, etc. Boom, contact, boom, and it's over.
Yeah, like I even have a clip where I came out in Telemundo because I was there for the Dominican Film Festival, so I had to like show a clip of that. That clip is like literally 5 seconds long. So but it's super, but I want people to see like, the work that I've done, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
like
but,
it's hard. It's hard. Yeah.
So Naughty Fox in the chat just said, I heard a stat yesterday that the average attention span is 7 seconds, and you have to grab your audience in that window. So if you haven't been able to do that, if you're not able to do that in that first, when that person clicks play, you've got 5 to 10 seconds. If they don't care. And care is probably, if they don't care is probably a harsher way of saying it, but if you don't grab their attention in that quick second, they're going to move to the next video. I do that all the time on YouTube when I'm just going through content, right? If like I'll be watching like First We Feast, the Hot Ones video series. If that thumbnail doesn't catch my attention, I don't watch the video. So the thumbnail has to hit. And if that first 5 to 10 seconds after I hit play doesn't grab me, I'm on to the next one.
Yeah, it's the same thing with podcasts, man. Like when I listen to a show, if it doesn't grab me like the first few seconds, I just take it off. I delete it and think
of that sizzle reel in the same vein.
Yeah. I could chop it up.
You have no choice, bro. You put out a 2-minute video, dude. It's kind of like when
think about it. Like, I had it 5 minutes, as now I have it 2 minutes and 41 seconds. So I could cut it off. I could cut it even more.
Okay, so the same way that we yell at like Keon and everybody else for dropping fan mail audios for 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, same exact concept. You don't want to sit there and listen to Keon, I love you, but I don't want to sit there for 3.5 minutes listening to you chatter. You know what I mean?
Actually, I had to hit up somebody that called us, that left a message a couple days ago. He left like a long 3-minute voicemail, and I'm like, look, man, I love when the fans call and everything, like the listeners, but can you make it shorter? It's easier for us, man, because if it's so long, we can't play 3 minutes. Like, only one audio that we did that for this episode. We're like, all right, it's a good conversation, it's cool, but imagine having multiple 3-minute audio. Like we can't play on the show, man. It's because of time, so but the first few seconds is from the intro of the messengers, like when I come out, but I chopped it up like big time in there.
Yep.
So yeah, but it's good. Thanks for the advice. I'll
yeah, for sure.
I'll make some changes. Definitely make some changes. You know it is. It's hard when you have so much talent, like Pete, like you. I saw Pete's resume one time. I'm like, yo, that's a lot of pages. But the typical person, company the average company like HR, they always look at like resumes and maybe like one page. But the thing is, Pete, you're so talented. I'm so talented. We love to put as much stuff in there. That's the thing. I don't want to leave that out. That's the situation that I'm in right now. You know what I'm saying?
Then think about it like this. Put the ones that put the hot ones, the ones with the biggest impact or the ones with the most impact at the front. And then lead out as you go with everything else. You know what I mean? Anything, because you don't want to bore them at the beginning. Because if, like we said, you kill them with boredom at the beginning, you've done more damage than good than anything else.
Yeah, no, I agree. Oh, one of our viewers wrote, right? I have 3-4 pages myself. Wow.
Hey, what's up?
3-4 pages?
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot for a resume, though.
Yeah, it is.
3-4 pages is a lot. I don't know if I can
mine
do it.
is 2 pages. And mine is 2 columns. Actually, no, wait. Mine was 2, maybe 3 pages. But, I've been in my industry for 20 years,
Yeah.
I don't have 4 or 5 pages. But each one of my where I've worked has been, with the exception of 1 or 2, it's like 5 years, 4 years, right now, currently 8 years, so I put the biggest accomplishments and I put key goals or key successes that I've had along with my skills. So I put like what I do and then highlights for each one. So yeah, mine's going to be 2 or 3 pages.
Yeah. Well, I'll mention this. The other day, I applied for a major company, not gaming related, because I don't want to do that. I don't want to do stuff. And I sent out my resume, and this person that works for that company, because I hit up this person, like, hey, I applied, whatever. This person said to me, Danny, I think you're overqualified for this position, man. I'm like, damn, okay. I don't know what to say when I hear that, man. Like, I don't know. So I'm like, you know what? If they call me, I'm probably not gonna do it then, because I've just been looking around a lot, dude, lately, man. Been looking around for like different positions, especially like podcast stuff, man. So you get that sometimes, Pete? Company will say that, like, probably in the past, it's like, oh, Pete, you're too overqualified for this.
In the past,
no. You're on mute. I can't hear you. Jesus.
Sorry.
God,
I was typing. I was typing in the chat, dude. Shut up.
Yeah.
I have gotten it in the past that I am overqualified on some things.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, cool characters ask, what does overqualified even mean? Sometimes you have way too much experience. Sometimes companies aren't looking for someone who has been in the industry for 20 or 30 years and may perhaps be set in their ways. They want to see someone being someone fresh, not having like 0 skill sets or 0 experience, but someone that they can coach up and build up to work for their organization in the way that they want. Some companies aren't always looking for a leader. Some people want to have that fresh out of school, easy to mold as an employee, easy to mold talent, right? So those are probably those are the ones that you really, really want when you go into when you're hiring someone who has been in the industry 5 or 6, maybe 7 years, maybe doesn't have 12 different companies under their belt. They see someone that they can mold and they can build into a model employee for their organization.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be looking around. You never know. Yeah, I never talked about this on the podcast, but I'm like, I don't give a care.
Holy crap! I've been recording all of this. So.
Wow, you better chop that off.
Nope, that's your job. You're editor.
Nah, man, chop that off, man. That's too long, man.
Directly
too long
as it is.
Nah, wait. Too long.
Nope. Sending it just like this.
So wait, like education has shifted to that style of hiring. What do you mean by that, Pete?
I didn't say that.
No, somebody wrote in the chat.
Why don't you ask them?
What do you mean by that? Like education has shifted to that style of hiring. Which part? See me go up because I have it small. A lot of companies are looking for someone to develop themselves. Okay. And it's budget too, man. It's budget, so they have a certain amount of budget for that position, so they don't want to like overpay someone, you know. That happened with me, man. When I, working at Discovery, been a lot of changes. So a lot of people got laid off, man, from the company. You know what I'm saying? So, and now the company used to be at Silver Spring, and now they moved it to different cities now. Like I know one of them is New York City, and I can remember the other one. I think Knoxville. So there's been a lot of changes, man, because of the whole YouTube and Twitch and Netflix. Like it's been changing a lot for the past few years, man. And actually too, like the other day, I had to do I was part of a panel for a radio conference in Miami, and we were the only podcasting panel. Everybody that was there, part of the conference, was all about like radio industry, the business side, everything. And when we were speaking, one of the questions we asked, okay, so how many podcasts we have here? It was a full house, Pete, and only 2 went like this. Raised their hand.
Oh wow.
Only 2, and this is like radio companies, radio execs, people that work in radio there, and only 2 went like this. So a lot of them were asking us questions about, because here's the thing, a lot of the young folks, they're not listening to the radio, they're not watching live TV like before. Like a lot of the young kids, either they're listening to podcasts, YouTube, Netflix. The industry has been changing, man. And that's why when we talk about like E3 needs to change, it needs to change because of everything that's been happening throughout the years. Like compared to like the first E3 I went to 2005 till now, huge difference. A lot of gaming developers were confused when I went up there passing out media kits and telling them we have a podcast. They looked at me like, what is that? I've never heard of that. And look now. So every industry has been changing, man. So it's been kind of hard, man. It's been really kind of hard, like to find jobs and like on TV or radio. There's been a lot of openings for like podcasts. Like Spotify have been investing a lot of money in podcasts. Like I think they acquired 2 companies.
Netflix is also podcast now.
Yeah, Netflix too, man. Yeah, so it's crazy, man. But the reason why I brought up the thing about the radio conference is that when I was speaking there, I felt like, damn, like they probably don't want to change. Like that's the vibe that I got at first, like for the first few minutes. But right after we were finished, a lot of people came up to us, man, starting like asking me like questions about podcasts, my contact information. Like they really want to start investing on that, man. So really good, man. Really, really good.
All right, the wife is here. She's giving me the eye.
Oh, she did. Yeah, tell us what's up.
Yeah, Danny says hello.
Hola. So we're out. It's all good. It's all good.
All right. So thanks everyone for stopping by. We appreciate it. I mean, pull the way, so I gotta go.
Yeah. All right. Cool. By the way, everyone, until next time, we're gonna be out, and Division, the clans are pretty full, both PC and Xbox. Sorry, I don't know what to do. We're full. We're full. And what anybody that wants to do the PlayStation version, go for it. I don't mind. Go for it. And that's it. We are Pete. That's it.
We are done.
All right. We're done.
Goodbye.
Peace. Later.
Cool.